Hello everybody, I'm going to start recording here so that you can see proof this guy is Platinum League. As a matter of fact, welcome back for some more adventures in the Southeast Asian server. Yeah. Alright, so a completely different style of play is found in this server. So from what I see so far, at least in the lower leagues, I mean, there's probably more skill involved as you go up the ranks. But this guy's probably thinking, oh, this guy's just a scrub Silver League player, you know. Because that's what it put me in. I'm officially, Silver League player in Southeast Asian server. But I've been rocking the Silver League player. The Silver League, even when I'm not put against Silver League players. Yeah. Alright, so spawning up in the top left hand corner of oh, wait a second. Okay, brain fart. Spawning up in the top left-hand corner of Belshir Vestige, we have Marinalos. I think that's how you say it. However, I could be mistaken. And spawning down in the right-hand corner is... Wait a second. The same player from the last three things? How could that be? It's GOAT! In the bottom right-hand corner. Okay. Alright, that was stupid. But, I mean, don't judge me. Alright, so... we got a Barracks first expand from Marinalos. I do see he's going to expand, though that was very poorly executed by me. Good positioning of the Marine, got the probe, and seeing this engineering bay, I was just like, well, frick. So much for macro. So I figured I might as well, like, 4-gate, like what? I never know what to do exactly in this situation. And he did, I don't know if he clicked on these, but I mean it's pretty much obvious. When this happens, you're forced into an all-in or you have to do something to like oriented with like you have to do some sort of economic damage or just something, because his natural is now up and he's already got mules going to it, and I haven't even thought like expansion's not gonna happen. I have these two stalkers here, and I did drop a robo for the sake of getting out an immortal. I don't know if that's the best idea. I need to get these warp gates. That was kind of bad on my part. But I do know that immortals are pretty good. And sentries and immortals are kind of going to be the meat of my... Well, okay, zealots would be technically the meat. They're the beef, the front like they tank the damage, and then the damage dealing is definitely the immortals. And kind of waiting for him to walk all the way down there definitely gives this guy plenty of time to prepare. And I did get a bunker, but I'm going to pull out. Generally a good idea. He's going to rebuild the bunker. So all the damage I did there was kind of pointless. This was really bad, like this whole scenario here. The fact that this happened, I should have just taken a really early third. And those were decent force fields. And I just kind of stopped paying attention right here. And that's when I realized maybe I should, try to keep my units alive a little bit. I did get my natural expansion down, but I don't have enough probes to it yet. Do a little bit of warp prism harass. Didn't mean to press that button. I should take these zealots home. What needs to happen next, I need to get some sort of something to block this off so he can't just stim Marines, kill Pylon and Nexus, and then done. But need to get some sort of damage. I was kind of hoping he'd be researching stim or something at this point. I don't think he has stim. Oh, he does have stim done, so kind of late for that, but it happens. Got some zealots, marauders and stuff coming on in. I know I need to... I just need to do a bit of economic damage at this point. Stalker got a kill. I know I need to kill that one. I kind of just need to kill the SCVs. And I did get that Stalker, but he does have a starport, so he can just willy-nilly build the Viking. Did you like that word choice? So, let's look at the units tab. I actually have more probes than he has SCVs. How many? I actually got 15 workers killed there, which I think that actually could have been enough to get me back into this. I know I want to get more SCVs, but these 3 zealots might not have been the most worth it. But, you know, it is what it is. I still have this forward pylon, so DTs are an option. Let's go back to the production tab. So, now we're both just kind of licking our wounds. It's relatively even now at this point. He's supply blocked. He's getting some reactors. There's his supply depots. Gateway is coming on in. Getting my gas, because Lord knows I need it. Yeah. We'll see what he's doing. What can he do from this point? He could take a third. He needs to get his gas. Well, I don't know. He doesn't necessarily need to. He's floating quite a bit. And he doesn't necessarily have the best production to produce. So what he needs to do is he needs to drop a... well, yeah, there is a factory. He needs to put down probably 2 more barracks. I don't know if that's the best production. What's he doing with this starport? I'm just kind of curious what he wants to do with that. He did go and kill off this proxy pylon. It's a good idea. One thing you're going to see, this guy is really good at splits. His splits are like instantaneous. And I think that he thinks he can just pretty much push and win right now. But one thing that I've been trying to do is constantly push out immortals right now. And I think by the time his attack hits, I already have 4 immortals and with sentry force fields. This doesn't really win. Siege tank is pretty good. The thing is, though, he's going to hit right when I start to try to take my third, which makes for an interesting scenario. He knows, though, that he needs to expand. I mean, he should. This will probably just go into a macro game. He probably thinking that I'm just a Silver League player. I'm not going to take my bases, and that's how you have to win. In macro games, you just have to keep taking expansions and killing expansions. That's what I've learned. At least it seemed like that from this game. He's taking his third and he's pushing out. I took my third in a defensive posture because I really need to... I'm just feeling like I'm so far behind because my natural was so late, but I didn't realize I got so many SCV kills. But it happens. Viking there, being kind of annoying. I did miss the destruction of my warp prism. Not too much happened. It was just a dead warp prism. That's what happened. My army, like, this is not that great of a choke for me, just for the sake of he can just run in and kill off this third, and now he is all of a sudden ahead again, because his is like 2/3 of the way done, and mine is now I have to restart making it. Siege tank gonna die, and he's just gonna kind of retreat back home. He knows he's ahead at this point because his command center is almost finished, and I have to restart making my nexus. And this will happen a couple times. He'll come in and kill this nexus again at one point, and yeah, just being annoying. There's my 4th immortal, and one thing, I don't know if you guys remember seeing too much of Lazy Bones play, but he was really good at me and him played a little bit, and one thing that he made sure, like, he told me I definitely need to do I need to get my third base at a way better timing, and I need to the composition that I really want to go for is Colossus Void Ray, and that's something that's gonna happen. That's like what's going through my head is like, what should I be doing right now? How can I win this? How can I win this? And yeah. So this guy, his third base is up, and he's gonna do a push again. I would imagine he's gonna start building a 4th command center. While he's doing this, that would be a really good idea. Because you know, Terran, they can just build their command center and fly it to the expansion. Protoss and Zerg, well, Zerg at least is useful to make the hatchery, and they have more larvae and injects and stuff. Yeah, and I really need to get this base saturated. That's a very important thing. And I need to have Colossus, like, right now. I have one. One isn't all that great. I mean, Colossus is a Colossus, but at the same time, it's not the best. See, he kills off the expansion again. Like what I was saying though, one Colossus, not the greatest. And he knows that as soon as I come through this choke, I'm kind of at a weak point in my positioning, and I know that too. I'm thinking he's just going to stem, split, and win, and I can't really afford that right now. And I'm behind 20 supply, though that's to be expected, Protoss versus Terran. But 20 supply is still 20 supply, something I need. Mostly it's in probably, let's see, the units tab again is 49 to 53, so he's ahead again in workers and expansions. And he probably should just be building his command center. I did get some DTs, of course. I didn't do too much. I don't know, this DT, how many? I have now, oh, worker supply is relatively even. I've now killed 19 workers to him killing 5, so it's slowly, these things are slowly starting to add up. He has to rebuild his SCVs. And I'm getting my 4th base and my 3rd base at the same time. I'm getting kind of annoyed with not having a 3rd base, and my economy, I know, just sucks. At this point, I really want to do some damage. I don't have enough, and he has seen the fact that I have Colossus, so he's just going to grab some Vikings. Those are the word. Look at the splits already, and the engagement's not even quite there yet. I know I need blink on my stalkers. That kind of makes the few that I have a lot more effective. Well, I guess I don't necessarily need them, but it definitely helps when dealing with Vikings. And Storm, something that I should have had forever ago. I have the Templar archives. Proxy pylons, not too bad this game. And I'm like, he does see my Colossus, and I don't want to deal with him with just losing him. At this point, I'm seeing his army, and I'm seeing what he's got, and I know that I can't engage. So I'm just going to go on back home. At some point, I drop about 4 more Void Rays. I really need to get these probes to work somewhere. That Marine being kind of a nuisance. And, yeah, he's pretty much maxed. He just needs to, he's going to probably wait for a couple more Vikings, and he's going to push. Because he knows that Colossus are the main threat to this army right now. Void Rays can do a great deal of damage to medevacs, and pretty much clean up the Marauder, but with this many Marines, there's not too much that I can do. And I don't know if he knows about this base yet. It should be expected, though. He's killed the other one a few times. He's probably just going to stem, run in, and try to kill this. I do have some High Templar on the way. My army just being a Protoss death ball over here. And, yeah, Archons are definitely an X factor in the terms of this right now, and he's just going to kind of try to get off some pop shots and pretty much 2-shot that Colossus, which is very annoying. And right as another one comes out, 2 Colossus, he's just trying to keep my Colossus count down, because once you get to that sort of that critical number of the Colossus, it's kind of really hard to deal with. And he's going to kill off a gateway or 4. And I see this positioning, and as soon as he sees me trying to go behind, he's going to pull on back out, which is a really good idea. But now I've kind of got this position over here. Archon's kind of going to get wrecked, and here's a big engagement, and oh my gosh, the Colossus are putting in work. The splits are pretty good. These Marines are kind of not doing all that much, and Vikings putting in work too. Archons and Void Ray sentries are going to kill off those Vikings. I do have quite a few Immortals are putting in work. Sentries are Immortal. The Force Fields are pretty good, and that was not necessarily a one-sided engagement. That was pretty bad for both sides. Both gonna go back and lick wounds again. The difference here is he only has 3 bases, and I have 4. So now this is where I kind of have my foothold with this 4th base. That double expand was pretty much the only way I was going to get back into this game. My economy is rolling. I'm pretty much spending the majority of my money, and he's not doing the greatest. Although he has been maxed for quite a while, though. That's why he's floating so much, which doesn't make him a bad player. It just means that he was maxed and he had a lot of money. Although you see me start to float, I'm not used to this 4-base economy. And I don't know if I do yet, but soon. I know that those Vikings are my primary threat right now, especially if I can get some High Templar and some Psystorm, I can pretty much wreck the Bio Ball, and then the Vikings. This is a really bad engagement. But I only had one sentry, so I couldn't do too much in terms of force fields, and it turns out Colossus pretty much wreck a Bio Ball, and I just lost 2 Colossus there, which pretty much turned that engagement really bad for me. He did lose his whole Bio Ball. He does need to have more production, I think. He's starting to get up his 4th base. He knows that the fact that I have one and he doesn't. And I just know that, you know what, I'm going to take another 5th base, because expanding is pretty much the only way that I'm going to be able to stay in this game. And I know that my natural is getting mined out. It's going to be mined out like soon. And he's going to posture right here, wait until the next little bit. And I don't know, the Stargates I know need to go down soon. You see me chronoing out my Colossus, my Void Rays, got double Q on that one. I still have this pylon here, though that's not necessarily in my head right now. Vikings, gonna go see if he can pick off some stuff. Although I see him, I do have Blink, I think, on my Stalkers. He did get the Void Ray, and I think when I seen the Void Ray gone, I decided that I need to have more Void Rays. And he sees that my army is not quite as big as it was, so I think he's going to try to do some damage here. One thing you'll see, I'm starting to have quite a bit of gas, and I know that I really need to get some High Templar. They make a big difference. He can pretty much run up in here, pick off like my army, and this was a really, really bad engagement for me. Immortals, though, they're pretty good. They're putting in work, and Photon Overcharge would be great, but not enough energy. Stalkers are pretty good. What are my upgrades? 3-1 upgrades. Putting in some work. The Guardian Shield, I think, is making all the difference right here. And the Void Ray in the back picking up stuff, doing some damage, and I did get that medevac, which had units in it. Which, those little things are adding up. Yeah, another 3 Stargates on the way. That should bring my total up to 4 Stargates. And, yeah. So if I can just start powering 4 Void Rays at a time, and then with 1 Colossus at a time, I probably should have double Robo. I do have the economy to support it, and I do have a 5th base now, and I have the gas going. I don't have Psystorm researched yet either, which is really, really bad on my part. And it's now 5 bases to 4. I don't think he's quite aware of my 5th base just yet, and I know that I have to start getting upgrades on my air units. He's doing a really good job of remaxing, and I think that this game is going a little bit different than he had planned, because you don't necessarily... I know how it is, especially in the North American server, where you see the league of someone, and you just assume, you know, I'll probably just raffle stomp them and call it good. Here, he is going to try and run in and kill off my natural. Because with these gateways, it can be pretty much like really annoying, especially when you're used to being Protoss and you have like 12 warp gates and all of a sudden you only have 4. And I do have quite a few Void Rays now, which is picking off the majority of those Vikings. And I think he knows he can't necessarily deal with this right now. With Stalkers, I can blink into that, wreck that, and I did focus down some medevacs there, which is definitely a good idea. Keeping those medevac count low is a way you want to play it. 1 Colossus, just enough to be annoying. I'd seen those gateways go down, and I decided I'd rather have the warp gates for the time being, because warp gate units aren't necessarily the greatest. I need to get these into warp gate mode as well. At the same time, he's going to come over here and pick off my 5th base, and he can pretty much walk over this right now. He is gonna get this Nexus, and probably he's not gonna take the probes, because he can't necessarily get them right now. And right now, this is a pretty terrifying army with 6 Void Rays to no. He's producing 4 Vikings at a time though, which with good micro can wreck Void Rays. And I've seen it done only once, to myself at least. I've seen it in pro games where the Terran will just have such epic micro that they can just kite Void Rays for days. And sometimes it is pretty brutal. And he is going to see my High Templar here, and I clicked on my Headhuntlar because I thought I had Psystorm for the past like year in terms of this game, and I do not have Psystorm yet, which is really bad. And so in a second here I'm gonna get Psystorm, and I know that I gotta I lost my Forge, so I can't really, any more upgrades aren't really a thing. He does have, how many is that, 10 Vikings. I think he's gonna come in and try to kill off some stuff, but I'm kinda getting close to that critical mass of Void Rays where Vikings really don't do anything unless he's just got epic micro, and that was some pretty good micro. He did pick off another Colossus. Psystorm's on the way, but I don't think it's going to be here in time for this engagement. I think I can pretty much A-click here. Although that is a terrifying bio ball. Look at those pre-splits though. That's good. This engagement here is pretty good for me though. The Guardian Shield in case, because I know that it's coming. And I was thinking in the back of my mind, if I can engage right after Psystorm is done, then I can pretty much, I have plenty of energy and I can just Psystorm for days. But if I engage beforehand, then these guys really should be Archons. But here, I wasn't necessarily paying all that much attention over here. That's why part of my army is over here just killing the space. And the feedbacks on the medevacs are pretty good. And engaging here without the medevacs is really, really a bad idea. Except for all those High Templar just ran into the bio ball, which is a really, really a bad thing. It's just not good. I'm up to 10 Void Rays, which that wrecks a lot. And he does have a 5th base, although he's not necessarily using it. What was his 4th base? Just lost all the probes. But at this point, I know I have a significant amount more than he does, and I think he knows it too. That was a pretty good blink. Void Rays are pretty good versus Vikings, and he does have a good amount of Vikings, but I do have a lot of Void Rays, and I'm not necessarily paying much attention. I didn't realize he had this many Vikings. Lots of Vs, man. Vikings, Void Rays. I guess that's it. That's probably all of the units in the game that start with a V, but it happens. Zealot's on the way. Charge is finished. What are this guy's upgrades? I never even thought about that. 3 armor. Can't really. He's probably 3-3. Yeah, 3-3 on the bio ball, and 2 damage on the air units. And I do see these Marines that they can pretty much wreck Void Rays, which doesn't necessarily make the most amount of sense. There was the Carbot animations that pretty much showed that. The Manor Mules. I think that was kind of a creative play to try to slow my army down, but you can see the differences in supply. I got another 4 Void Rays on the way, which will probably stop about anything he can do. And this is the bulk of his production. And yeah, so that was a really good game. That guy was a solid player. I just don't think he was expecting any sort of skill from a Silver League player. I know that I don't necessarily whenever I play versus them. And he scanned my base to make sure that it was there before leaving. Yep, so it was very well played, and I felt really good in that game. So yeah, if you guys like it, favorite, do whatever you want, have fun. Send me in your replays at goreplays@gmail.com. Have a good time. Yeah, alright, see y'all later.